Welcome to ExAnime.
Episode 45. I thought you were going to keep going.
Oh, it's 46.
46, that's right.
Yo,
we ain't playing this at all.
That Cowboy Bebop live action's happening.
Dude, it looks fucking good. At first, I was like, I don't know how this... Also, Faye Valentine isn't as slutty as she should be. Just saying.
Got to appeal to a slightly wider audience.
No,
it's gonna be on Netflix.
Fuck them. They aren't true fans. Yeah? If you're a real Cowboy Bebop fan, Justus, name everyone in Cowboy Bebop.
Spike.
Wow.
All of them.
Yo, Spike. You know who the best character in Cowboy Bebop is, though?
Is it the dog?
Yeah, Ein. I don't even know his name. Spell his name.
Yo, I got it right, though.
What, you said the dog?
Well, yeah, but I got the character correct.
Yeah, we don't even know his name.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Also, I'm very confused in the show because... So in the Japanese sub, they point out that Ed is a girl. But in the English dub, they play this off as Ed's dad shows up like, how's it going, son? Then later they're like, yo, my favorite daughter. It's like, how the fuck do you not know this shit?
I
I don't know. It's the live action no one asked for. I mean, it could be good. I mean, because this is a Netflix original.
Look, like I'm holding out just a little bit. They did do Death Note. So
it's true, and that was not... the Death Note one, though, I think they learned their lesson of you just can't make up shit and just do whatever.
I would hope so. Because the backlash for that one
was severe.
Very high.
It was definitely not a good... what do you call it?
Adaptation?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope that... they do something good with that.
You know what's still sad?
Anohana?
No. Kiss X Sis ends in 2 chapters.
Oh.
That was from last week, but I just had to say that. No Game No Life surpassed 6 million copies in circulation, which I've never looked into that. Like, does that mean, like, there's 6 million copies that are still going out and about, and that doesn't include the ones that have already sold? Or does that include the ones sold? Which they've got to be doing another season. If there's all this hype of like reprints of books, reprints of art books, or doing what they're doing.
They're re-airing
it right now.
Season 1 in Japan.
So it's like
there's a really good chance.
You gotta announce it. Usually just don't re-air something to be like, oh, you don't make a big hype over it, I should say.
Yeah. It'd be interesting.
In other news though, big news. Speaking of re-airing, Gintama beat Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Yeah, not anymore, though.
Yeah, not anymore. Listen, if you're a Fullmetal Alchemist fan, I understand it being your favorite show, but don't knock on another show just because you hate it. Because imagine if everyone that really didn't care too much about FMAP or Fullmetal Alchemist just came and like gave the show 0. Because you don't do the show justice by giving it 0. This is kind of how toxic some of the fan base is.
Oh, it's still sitting there.
Is it?
Yeah.
It does have a bigger lead? I went and upvoted Gintama. It's fucking hilarious.
It's by 0.1.
Yeah, which is pretty drastic. So have you seen Gintama at all? Have you read it?
I've seen clips.
It is fucking hilarious. Like, it is just jokes after jokes after parody after parody. Like, the show is fun to watch. If you have seen any anime, there was probably a reference to it in Gintama.
Fruits Basket is still holding strong at number 6.
It should be up higher. I mean, I haven't seen it, but you really like it. A lot of people like it. Because I want people to rate shows the way it should be rated. Just don't fucking knock on a show because to knock on a show.
Yeah.
Like Naruto might be higher if people just didn't give it 0 stars because, well, Shippuden might not, the original because no one gives a fuck about 60 episode fillers.
Yeah. The way I like actively rank certain shows, like there are really good shows that may get a slightly lower ranking if they're not like tied together well, or if there's just that one thing where it's like it was really good, but you should be aware.
Oh, we forgot to mention this week is a special. Yeah. We're not talking about any of the regular shows.
Yeah.
But you were saying ranking. Have you given anything 10 out of 10? Fruits Basket, Anohana.
I gave Fruits Basket a 10. Just the way it tied everything up at the very end. especially between those 2 seasons, you don't ever quite realize the amount of total emotional investment you have in some stuff until like it gets there to the end and you're like, oh God. I did give Anohana a 10. I just really love the story.
It's a good story. There are some, I think I gave it like a 9.
The whole wearing the dress thing is kind of that, a similar,
Cringe.
But you should be aware kind of like moment. It didn't.
You went through a mental trauma.
Yeah, it didn't detract too much from me.
I gave it a 9 just because there's other scenes that I'm like,
I personally also gave Assassination Classroom Season 2 a 10. The way it ended was like...
I do like how they separate seasons.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Fullmetal Alchemist is all one thing.
Yeah, because they didn't really do seasons, though.
They didn't really call it a season 2, but then once they printed it, it was a season 2. It's a weird...
Probably like a part 2 kind of thing.
No, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood definitely deserves to be in the top 5. I want to give shows like a 10 out of 10 if it's like kind of life-changing.
Yeah.
I know it sounds weird for anime, but it's like...
I did give Brotherhood a 9. It's a good show, and I've seen it a handful of times. There are...
Name every character then.
Greed, lust, envy, wrath, Edward, Alphonse,
This is the new episode. Just keep going down the list. Armstrong.
Name all their ranks.
Lieutenant Colonel Armstrong, Major Armstrong, former Marshal Armstrong.
Okay. One of the ones that might be surprising. You haven't seen it. I know that. It was one of those like recommended. I think Giga made a video on it. No. And it was like, oh, I'm gonna check that out, and then at the very end, it's
Taxi Show.
No. It's a couple years old.
I got a hint.
A Place Further Than the Universe.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen it. It's on my to watch list, which is constantly growing.
Yeah, it's so good. It's one of those like slice of life that like at the very end you're like, yo, I want to do something like right now. I want to go somewhere. I want to like
see that's a good show.
Story. Yeah,
that's a show that hits you, makes you want to do something.
It was very good. I mean, it's about teenage girls wanting to go to Antarctica. And, like, they're...
Is it cold?
Yes. But, yeah, it's so cool. It's a really well-rounded story, and even at the very end, where, everything's getting ready to tie together, and it's, like, the friend that, like, said that it wasn't possible, like... trying to meet up with her. It's kind of a spoiler, but not really. It's just one of those like quick little moments where it's like, haha. She it turns out she's on the next expedition after like seeing them make it, and the fun that they were having and the kind of experience while they were there and stuff like that. So it's super cool. I enjoyed the story a lot. Can't buy the goddamn Blu-ray.
That's why I'm hoping.
Annoying.
I hope with Sony's final acquisition of Crunchyroll, finishing their fucking Infinity Gauntlet. Sorry, I burped there. That they do something about that. They probably won't. They'll probably still let them do their own thing. Which
I don't know.
That seems kind of weird that like no one's tried to file for a monopoly.
It's because, especially in the streaming side, like you still do have a lot of parties.
Yeah.
And a lot of big parties.
But it's weird because it's like when you get into stuff like Aniplex, which is going to get publishing rights, and then the publishing rights will go to like Netflix. It's a weird chain of money going back to Sony.
Yeah.
So you get the consumer to Netflix, Netflix to Aniplex, Aniplex to Sony.
Mm-hmm.
So then Sony Incorporated. But
yeah, it's just kind of one of those like things where technically when you look at it where it's like, oh, they have a lot of things, but it's like, all right, well, what's Aniplex like true purpose? Well, they hold rights to shows that then just, the Funimation side distributes the streaming of those rights, and like Funimation does Blu-rays, but
I hope Sony does a You know, it's also weird because Sony owns the right to Blu-ray. Like, I always forget that Sony owns Blu-ray. Like, they own the file format, which is another intellectual property thing.
Yeah.
But I wonder what Sony's going to do about it. Because now that Sony owns Blu-ray, can they cut all of them a deal to where when they produce a Blu-ray, they don't have to pay the licensing fee?
Possibly.
Which would be cool because maybe it'll make it cheaper. It won't. They'll just, deepen their pockets.
Yeah.
But at least Sony's kind of that company of like, you still get very good quality for what you pay for.
Mm-hmm.
But I hope they do the bundle that they've talked about where I don't know what would be a fair price for everything. Because what? Verve, Aniplex, Funimation, Crunchyroll, they own 2 others. It's like $25 a month. They have access to everything. I think that'd be, or $20. $20 would be.
$20 is too much.
$20 is too much?
When you can
Crunchyroll's like 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then Funimation's like 8.
It's 5.
5, so that's 15. Then Verve's like what?
Verve is the combination platform to give you access to those 2, though. So, like, Verve overall.
But Sony has their own stuff, too, that you can stream, if I remember correctly. So if they did $15 a month for everything, $15 a month for everything, and then you get like a deal whenever you buy something from Aniplex.
Mm.
Because if you could get Crunchyroll's media player, right, with Funimation's shop, I think the way
Verve is $10 a month.
So it's $25 for all 3.
But mind you,
it's
Verve gives you access to Funimation and Crunchy at one point. But Verve now, for that $10 a month, gives you full access to the other stuff on Verve and all of Crunchyroll.
Yeah,
Premium.
I just hope that Crunchyroll's media player doesn't go away because when we watch stuff on Funimation. Like, I'm pretty sure the entire B list is only on Funimation and the entire A list is only on Crunchyroll, which is weird how that worked out. We didn't really plan it that way. But anytime you use fucking Funimation's media player on a computer, not your phone, their phone, they have it worked out perfect. The computer, you click pause. Doesn't pause. You click pause again, which is now the play button. So now it says pause, but it's paused.
$6 a month.
Yeah. But then if you have the problem with their audio, when you go to turn it up, you got to press the audio button, turn it up, click on the audio button again, but then it mutes it. Then you got to click it again to unmute it.
No.
Do you just watch it on your phone?
No. So when I'm on Funimation, the way I have everything through the Go XLR, all of the desktop stuff is set to max volume, and then I just slide it.
Oh.
So I never actually have to readjust sound through any player.
Yeah, I have to leave audio on desktop at a certain level for Adobe. So get ready for Adobe. I don't know, it's just easier for me to be like, boop, boop, like turn up my thing on the side.
Yeah.
I just hate Funimation's. I just hate their website version of their media player.
Yeah.
Because it's shit.
I have had those moments where sometimes you hit pause and it still shows like the play icon and stuff like that. Where you're like, come on. Like, don't be weird about it.
And I think Crunchyroll's comment section is way better than Funimation's.
Well, right now Funimation doesn't seem to have a comment section.
Well, yeah, they don't. But it's like when they did. Like when you go to Crunchyroll, you watch the episode, the spoilers are hidden. Or like there's keywords that I think they pick out and then it purposely will hide the spoiler comments. And then you can see the ranking of the show. And then you can also see the upvotes and downvotes of the episode. And then you can see when the episode came out on Crunchyroll compared to Funimation. You just kind of got to guess when it came out, which helps us. Like if I don't want to watch ahead, I haven't done that lately. I just kind of watch whatever's out. But
the rumor was that because they don't have those spoiler tags like you were talking about, people kept spoiling stuff on when Attack on Titan was airing months ago.
Oh, and then they pulled it?
They literally just disabled it. And it's like, yo, you mean to tell me you didn't have enough back end to like just implement the spoiler stuff? You just had to disable an entire feature on your website?
That's what I'm talking about. It's such a shitty fucking way of running their website.
Yeah.
Like their storefront is great. I think Funimation has great packages as far as what you can order. Like
Funimation also ships way faster than Crunchy. I bought one thing on Crunchyroll and it took like 3 weeks compared to Funimation, which was like 4 days.
I don't know about Crunchyroll. I always pre-order everything. So, like, my pre-orders are kind of all over the place.
Yeah, I also mainly stopped using Crunchyroll stuff because everything you can buy on Crunchy, you basically buy on Right Stuff anyways.
I'd rather have it from Right Stuff.
Yeah, Funimation, there's a couple things that you explicitly, like, are locked within their wall. One of them is the most recent Code Geass movie. Like, you can only get that on their website. It's been sold out for fucking months, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if Sony will go after Right Stuff next.
No.
Just for their rights of distribution?
The Right Stuff wouldn't sell. Like, think about how much money they've been making, especially within the last, 3 years.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make much sense to...
Yeah, but Sony's got that Sony money.
I mean, they do have the Sony money, but...
I mean, to be fair, Marvel sold out. And, I mean... Now, granted, I'm not saying Right Stuff's a multi-billion-dollar
Marvel
company.
sold out at a very low point in their, lifespan, though.
Yeah, Sony's sitting over there with... It always surprises me, not to get too off track, how much stuff Sony does that you just never see.
Mm-hmm.
Like, right now, we're wearing, Sony headphones as an example.
Yeah.
And, Sony phones, laptops, they're not big in the U.S. because they got pushed out by cheaper stuff because people want cheap.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like in the U.S., most people just want cheap and kind of works rather than expensive and won't break.
When you think of something like the impact the Walkman had.
Yeah.
And also, they still make them, new Walkmans.
Does Sony own...
$1,300 starting price.
Does Sony own MP3? Someone owns MP3.
Yeah,
I don't think Sony does.
No, I don't think it's Sony, because Sony...
There's some weird company that owns MP3.
Yeah, they bought the rights to it, and then they became assholes, which is why we created MP4.
Like AAC or MP... Well, no. MP4 is a video. MP3 is audio.
Oh. So
No, there was Apple made... So MP3 got bought. The rights got bought, and the company was saying to everyone, you can't make MP3 players anymore. We're going to sue you if you make an MP3 player. Because it was a money grab because they spent all this money buying MP3. But they didn't really think it through considering Apple already had their own
It says
file
MP3
format.
is open format.
I thought someone bought it. That company might have gone under and then it went out, which is highly possible. Because I remember they started pulling MP3s. Apple switched to their AAC is their audio format. And then Windows now has their own audio format, but you can still use MP3.
Well, MP3 is still standard though. I do know what you're talking about though. There was a specific audio format.
Yeah, but the thing is that company went under because everyone already had their own backup audio format.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's just that easy. Just make a new fucking format and then force people to use it. I'm trying to think of what other anime companies Sony could buy. Unless Sony started acquiring actual studios, which would be terrible. Because once a studio gets acquired, then shit changes.
At least this is an article from 2007. The Allocate Luxent Bell Labs holds the patent.
For MP3?
Yeah. They tried to order Microsoft to pay $1.5 billion in damages.
Yeah. And then Microsoft just did a new fucking format. They're like, yo, fuck you, we're out. Because I imagine that's what the company paid for the patent of it.
Yeah. Here's an article from 2017 on Gizmodo. Developers of MP3 have officially killed it. So.
Yeah. Which, I mean, it's not really anime related, but,
I mean, it kind of.
I wonder if, like I was saying, do you think Sony will buy anything next? Because the only thing they could do in the U.S. is either buy, sales platforms like Right Stuff Anime, or, I don't know, maybe they'll come out with their own version of VTubers. Ooh, what if they bought HoloLive?
I think that'd be a weird move.
It'd be a weird move, but it's definitely up Sony's alley doing weird stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying Sony doesn't. How do I describe it? Sony doesn't really make bad moves. They make weird moves, if that makes sense, that turn out bad. But sometimes it really, really pays off. I mean,
yeah. I don't know. It's kind of one of those things where I think at some point they do make acquisitions, but they make them far enough apart. Like when you think about how long ago they bought Funimation and the gap between that when they bought Aniplex and now the gap between like Crunchyroll.
Well, they had to wait on the courts to
Well, yes, purchase. But even beyond the like next purchase, there's also still some level of gap there. I would assume that like right now, the best thing that they could do would just be to like build up the services that they have, make them an extremely strong like staying power, and unless there's something that comes by that they absolutely cannot like pass up on, it'd be dumb to just be like, all right, well, let's buy more stuff. You're just kind of wasting things at that point. Like on the Funimation Crunchyroll side, perfect example where it's like, yo, if you just started buying some other anime stuff right now, like while also in the process of creating a unified service or whatever their full plans are, because they've already, stated that they're not just going to leave it as is. It'd be so weird to like buy something else. Like if they bought Sentai, who owns High Dive, which then you would just really start getting into that like weird triopoly sector. But
I just want to see, I want to see a unified store between all the platforms they have. And I want to see a unified player that works the best.
Mm-hmm.
And they're probably going to leave it separate just in case, like, what if Crunchyroll's becomes shit and Funimation's becomes good, which will probably never happen considering Crunchyroll's is pretty, on point. Like, they don't need to switch the player. I don't care if it looks old. It works. It's nice.
Want to know what I think their next acquisition would be?
What?
Publishing studio for manga.
I
feel like that would
makes
be
sense.
the next smart step, unless they already have one.
I completely forgot to sign up for Shonen Jump. You said it's only fucking, $2 a month?
Yeah.
Which is nothing.
But I think that would be the next smart thing, because there is the subsection for Crunchyroll that has manga, and right now they've only been rotating like popular stuff that like airs. The moment it ends, they drop it. So there's only ever like 20 on there. So building out a section that actively like can compete with Shonen Jump and Viz and a lot of them, like maybe they buy 7 arts or something and
maybe
throws a lot of that stuff up there.
Because the thing is, I think what their next move is buying publishing rights. Now, granted, they haven't done anything yet that's kind of threatened the community. Like, as far as like, oh, they own it, so they're going to jack up the price.
Mm-hmm.
If they did the thing, if they bought everything and they lowered the price, that would be cool.
Yeah.
But I don't know if Sony will do that. Because usually Sony's thing is not like, hey, we're cheap, buy us because we're cheap. It's buy us because we're expensive and good. I mean.
Yeah. So I think that would be the most realistic step. Get specifically a manga publishing company that allows you to, especially because they're really ingrained in US, like both Japanese and US, so it's easy for them to do transitions back and forth compared to some other companies that like, Crunchyroll, or especially like at the very beginning, Funimation, based in Texas, like trying to work out all of the deals in Japan. Like now that there is that massive bridge and that staying power that Sony has, being able to bring things over to the US should be way easier rights-wise, because they have a very long history of doing that already. So
Sony's pretty dominant in Japan.
Yeah.
I mean, shit. Oh, maybe some more game companies.
Yeah, but
like
I would assume that their biggest thing would be like there's a lot of momentum in the specifically US for like anime and manga, like really trying to make that sector as large as possible. So, yeah.
I mean, that's all I got. Oh no, there was one more thing. Yo, Tokyo Revengers mangaka, used to be in a fucking gang.
Yeah, the picture that they used of him most recently versus the one that they had.
Very bad picture.
Well, I mean, look, both pictures, it's like, yo, why are you so happy now? What changed? Hey, they got that picture of him in like the gang outfit.
Moment of that was him
Oh,
in real
God.
life. Maybe that was actually his life-changing moment.
But yeah, it was like, man, that you look so mad.
Gonna make it even better.
Hmm.
If he actually did have a girlfriend with a little brother.
Oh no.
What if it's a true story, Justus?
Oh no.
What if he could go back in time?
Oh,
What if her name's Hina and she's dead?
yo, bet on some stocks. Oh, yeah, that dude. I look at that picture and it's like, well, that's cool. At least you can like draw from a little bit of experience.
Well, the thing is, like, his gang uniform looks like let me pull up the gang uniform here. Like, that is basically his Mahjong gang, minus like instead of white, it's more. To be fair, it's kind of stereotypical though, which is a black jacket with the. What is even the point of tying the like? Is there? Do you know what that is? When they have,
yes, I do. So it's a symbolistic thing now.
So anyone that's listening, when they have their gang uniforms, they have like this white cloth kind of tied.
Yeah, some of them will.
Yeah, it's like a sash.
Yeah. So it's a symbolistic thing because back in the olden days, forever ago, samurai would do that because they were baggy. So it would tighten up the loose clothing, allowing for easier mobility and less to grab on.
So it's just symbolistic nowadays?
Yep.
I knew like samurai did shit like that. I wasn't sure if it was linked to them.
Yep, it's all just like symbolistic.
God, that would just be even worse for movement nowadays.
I mean,
just
it's not like they're like, it's just, it looks
just kind of
badass. And like specifically a lot of the cases.
I wonder what gang he was in.
Who knows?
He was in the Mahjong gang.
Mahjong?
I purposely said that. That was purposeful. It's not the Manji gang.
Who knows? But
dude, that last episode was still so cringe.
Mm-hmm.
Not the one that would have come out this week, but last week. I'm telling you, dude, at the end of this show, he should tell us what he actually did in the gang.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
Yo, so I was in the middle of a fight just fucking wailing.
So, yeah, I think that's about it. Not a very long episode today compared to our last couple of like hour-long ones.
Listen, you can tell we like the show so much better. Just wait till next season when the shows are super good. I mean, it's all going to be sequels, which is kind of the sad part.
Yeah, but
they're going to announce
still dope.
Demon Slayer Season 2 on September 25th.
Nice.
Or more details about it, which is weird.
I would assume that it's
class
probably going to be
over.
in spring.
Don't pack up your bag.
You don't dismiss me. The bell does. Damn. How about that, bitch? All right. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys give a like, subscribe.
Your mom's out.
If you have any feedback for us, you can let us know down in the comment section if you made it this far. And
Longer reviews are coming. I keep promising it, but one day they'll be here.
Yeah. If you are listening on the audio only between Spotify, like Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, all those fun ones, follow us at ExAnime.
Oh, there will be
Twitter.
a Facebook upcoming next week.
We're going to have a Facebook page up and give us feedback. Like, we're always trying to improve.
Maybe
we're kind of like in a small lull experience just because we're getting ready to move here in like a month.
Yeah, in about a month we'll be moving. So it's like we're not trying that. We can't build anything new till we're in that new space.
Yeah.
Because when we move, it'll be a new set for ExAnime. Pretty much the same set this is for Bon Wee. But we'll be doing more reviews for ExAnime, like quick 5-minute reviews.
Yeah. And I mean, as we're setting all of that stuff up, getting ideas, feedback would be super appreciated. Because then we can plan out some of those ideas if they turn out to be really good. So, thanks for watching.
Yo, this video gets 1 million views. I'll join the gang.